Hello! Today I'm going to show you 4 quick and easy recipes that you can make if you are a college student who doesn't have a lot of free time, or if you are simply someone who wants to cook but doesn't know where to start. This is me. I'm a writer who likes food, and when I don't manage to trip on air, I like to cook. I was once a college student, and I too prefer recipes that are super quick to make because who has the time to make elaborate meals every time they feel hungry? Without further ado, let's get into it. The first recipe is a breakfast recipe. I figured I would do breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. That seemed to make the most sense. It is a quick recipe that is especially good as a grab and go since it only gets better the longer it sits. This is a blackberry chia seed pudding. The first step is to get your blackberries. And you can blend them if you want a smoother texture, but I find that mashing them works just as well. To that, I am adding milk, anyone will do, maple syrup for sweetness, and chia seeds, and I will give that a good mix. Now you can stop here and this will taste good on its own, but I like to go a step further. I'll put it in the fridge for around 30 minutes to set, mixing on occasion. Now that it's out, on top of the chia seed pudding, I am placing my favorite yogurt and more blackberries for topping. And that's it! Here you have a quick and easy blackberry chia seed pudding. It took me 5 minutes tops to make. This is great to make right as you wake up, then let it set in the fridge as you get ready so that it's perfect by the time you eat it. Healthy and delicious. For lunch, I'm going to keep things light with a warm and delicious shakshuka. And don't get intimidated while looking at this because it looks deceptively fancy. In reality, it is quite simple and cheap to make. The first and most important ingredient is canned whole tomatoes. You can use any brand, but I like this one. We are going to start by prepping the vegetables, and if you have one of those vegetable choppers, you can use that. Since it's not much, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the knife and the cutting board. First, dice the onion, next the bell pepper, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just get it all around the same size so that it cooks evenly. Last one is the garlic, and you can use a garlic press to make it even easier. Good, now time to dump everything into a non-stick pan. Turn that to medium heat and add a dollop of oil to the pan. Is that right? A dollop? It doesn't sound right. Next, in go the onion and the bell pepper and let that cook until lightly browned. Look at that caramelization. Add in the garlic, and while that is cooking, go in with the spices. Smoked paprika for a smoky flavor, cumin for a hint of earthiness, and ghost pepper chili powder for spice. That's a good amount. Then, mix. Pretty much immediately after, in go the canned tomatoes. And break them up just a bit. Also, if you have it, add in salsa because it tastes good in this. Mix it up and let it simmer. Now, this is usually eaten as a breakfast dish in the Middle East and in North Africa, but since I tend to skip breakfast most days and instead eat a brunch or an early lunch, this is the perfect in-between. Beautiful. Oh, last bit is a generous amount of salt and pepper. Have to remember that. Did I say last step? This is the real last step. Make wells in the center, as many as your pan will allow, or as many as you like, and drop in the eggs. Cover it and cook for around 3 to 5 minutes to get runny yolks, or longer if you want, like I did. Look at that. The best part about this recipe is that it is very much a measure with your soul recipe, so if you can't seem to ever get measurements right or you don't have measuring spoons, this is for you. It's also healthy, and if you are vegetable averse like I tend to be, you will have no problem clearing out this entire pan. And since you can eat this right out of the pan, as an added bonus, it's less dishes, and what college student doesn't like less dishes? We got our vegetables in with lunch, now let's get in some protein for dinner with this sweet and saucy sesame ground chicken that's even better than takeout. There are only 2 things to prep for this recipe, the vegetables and the sauce. So bring that vegetable chopper out again, or not, because it's really just the onion this time. And the garlic is minced like usual, easy. Now for the sauce. Soy sauce, and if you're really thrifty, you can even use those takeout soy sauce packets if you have them saved up like I used to. Now though, I have this giant thing of soy sauce. To that, I am adding in maple syrup, and you can add in pretty much anything sweet, so regular sugar, brown sugar, honey, literally anything. This is sesame oil, sesame seeds, chili sauce. I use sambal olek, but anyone will do. And water mixed with cornstarch as a thickener. Yummy cornstarch. And if you don't have sesame oil, you can probably just leave it out. I did that one time because I forgot to add it in, and it was pretty much fine. That sauce is done. Now time to dump everything into the pan. First, olive oil and onion. If you add in too much oil like I did, just get a paper towel and wipe the excess off. Cook until caramelized, you know the drill. In goes the garlic, and it will be 1 more minute to cook for that. Time for the chicken. Straight from the package to the pan. And just break that up with your spatula. Then over that, pour the sauce. Mix on occasion and let that cook down until thick. One thing I absolutely do not like about cooking chicken is the prep, and maybe you felt the same. Picture this. You go to the store and find a beautiful package of chicken breasts or thighs, and you can already imagine the delicious meal that you'll make with it. So you wipe your drool and toss it into your cart. But then you get home and now it's time to start cooking. But wait, before you can even start, you have to prep the chicken. You need to devein it and trim off the extra fat, then cut it into pieces, and soon 20 minutes have gone by and now you don't even feel like cooking anymore. In comes ground chicken. Now you can still enjoy your food but with zero prep for the chicken. Why did that sound like a commercial? Not a commercial, just excited about this. All you have to do is take it out of the package and drop it straight into the pan. It smells delicious. And there you have it. Now that is saucy. Sprinkle on scallions if you have them and you're ready to eat. You can eat it plain or along with some rice to make it extra filling. If you are anything like me, dinner time is not complete without a bit of something sweet. So of course, I cannot forget the dessert. If you were a college student, you might not have access to an oven, or maybe you just don't feel like using it because it feels like a lot of work. I've been there. Never fear, in comes this single-serve eggless sugar cookie made in a, wait for it, microwave. That's right, and if you want to see more microwave recipes, check out my other video on that. To start, melt the butter to make it easier to mix. Add in the sugar, vanilla extract, and since eggs can sometimes get expensive, instead of that, I will add a dollop of cream cheese, that's the right use of that word, and mix it all up. Now for the dry ingredients. Flour, baking powder, and a hint of salt. Mix this up nicely and it will become a nice creamy dough. You can use your hands if it's easier too. If you want to make one giant cookie out of this, go for it. I originally was gonna make 2, but I decided to go for 4. First, make your dough into balls. Then roll them in more sugar to get a nice coating and flatten them to the shape you want. You can roll it out or just shape it with your hands. It doesn't matter. Stick those onto a bit of parchment paper, and I would also suggest putting it on a plate before you microwave it. Microwaves are basically mini ovens, so you can cook pretty much anything that needs to go in the oven in the microwave as well. Actually, do not quote me on that. I did not fact check that bit. And here you have it, delicious sugar cookies that were made in the microwave. They had to go in for around 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes, which is way less time than it takes to preheat the oven and to bake them. I will say though, the texture is better in the oven. These are quite crunchy and I prefer my cookies a little bit soft. Would you try any of these? That is all. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!